Jonathan Burt, and today is Wednesday, so you know it's all about the wrestling Wednesday. So, in today's episode, I'm going to go over the WWE and AEW releases, go over the surprise debut in NXT. We'll get into it. And maybe we'll go over Raw and SmackDown. We'll see about that, but we got a lot to talk about. So, first off, we'll talk WWE releases. First, the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering, their manager, and them. I This one I don't really see too surprising, just because they really weren't adding too much. They were just really carrying Cross as lackeys. They didn't do much. I didn't really see them too important to the storyline of carrying Cross, especially just because Carrion is someone who I think should be solo. I've been saying this for a while. I think Carrion should go back to his NXT type storyline, shave the head, or keep there and just become a monster again. Just be that diabolical guy. He's diabolical now, but a different way. He's just turning everybody on each other. Get him in the ring. Get him some time. Give him promos. Give him, give him something to do in the ring, please, because he's a very good wrestler. Next one, Cedric Alexander. He was doing pretty good in NXT. I think Ethan Page just wrote him off, and then they released him. I could see him definitely going to AEW to join the what is it? The Hart Syndicate. Is that what they're called in AEW? Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP, whatever they're called down there. I could see him going back to have a full reunion of those three. I think it would be cool for them. I don't watch AEW too much, so I'm not going to speak on it really. I will speak about the releases just because what I've heard about it, but um, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think he'll work out great for them. I think he'll be pretty good down there. Next one, Sonya Deville. This one is like it's kind of surprising because she really just came back only a few months ago, and she got thrown into this group, Pure Fusion Collective, with was it Zoe Stark and what's her name? It's on the it's in my head. If it Shayna Baszler, yeah, and they really were just there and just got beat up by Damage Control on a weekly basis. Like they weren't adding too much to the product, so I'm not surprised. But Sonya Deville really was my favorite out of the three. I really liked her more, and she had a pretty big showing in the Royal Rumble, so I'm surprised she got released. But um, it's a business, so it is what it is. Next one, Blair Davenport. This is one where I'm really surprised with because she is such a good and interesting talent. I think she could have been great on the main roster if they would have used her. They didn't really use her, so I don't really get why they brought her up from NXT, because if you don't have plans, don't bring her up. Keep her in NXT so she can work there. But it didn't work out. It sucks because she was really a good talent. I think she could have done a lot of things in WWE, but ended up not working out. It's rough, but she's another one where I could see most of these people probably going to AEW, filling spots there. Blair Davenport definitely would be pretty good for the women's division there. Next one, Isla Dawn. This one, I mean, the tag team, they won the championships and then they lost it and they haven't done anything since really. So another person where they just didn't have stuff for her and they didn't really bring her down or to NXT to do anything. So just another release where she could have been good, but it ended up not working. Um, Giovanni Vinci. This was interesting just because he actually had like it was like a bigger showing where they gave him the vignettes and they gave him this major comeback story to to go back in the ring again, and he lost I think 2 or 3 straight matches to Apollo Crews and was out. I heard maybe he might have been released because he was flirting with Tiffany Stratton or something like that. I don't know if that's fully true, so don't take my word for it. But whatever he was doing or whatever was happening, WWE did not like it, and they did not see him in their future projects. So Giovanni Vinci has been released. Sucks for him because I kind of like this solo run he was about to go on, but hey, you do something to anger the boss, you're going to be gone. Next, the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I think it was Carl Anderson who was hurt, so this one's a little rough. I don't really like the look of this, just like firing an injured person. Um, I think it should probably be talked about a little more because I don't like that we're just firing injured people unless they really had no plans whatsoever, even if he was healthy. Maybe you can like let him go so they can do some stuff out and just not sit on the roster. But firing someone who's hurt doesn't look really good. So I hope that's not a thing that continues. And then Electra Lopez, um she was with Santos Escobar and the other two, and she didn't do much. She was their manager. She just walked out with them and really didn't have much story to it. So I guess that's why she was released. But yeah, out of all of them, I think the Good Brothers, I mean, are set to go back to TNA. I think I read that. Um, the people I could see going to other companies, Authors of Pain, might go back to the Indies or AEW would be a good part with Paul Ewing. Cedric Alexander, definitely think he'll go to the Hurt Syndicate or whatever their name is. Sonya Deville and Blair Davenport, definitely great additions to AEW. Both of them, they can really beef up that women's division, make another challenger because that Timeless Tony Storm Maria May, that is a great storyline. I have been keeping up with that. That one's really interesting, and it's probably one of the best storylines going on in AEW right now. But beef up the women's division even more, and it'll be great. Isla Dawn, go back to Indies maybe. I mean, another addition to AEW possibly. Giovanni Vinci, that one is interesting. I don't know. I don't know where he could go. Good Brothers, like I said, Tina and Electra Lopez. Uh, wherever they want uh, her, they can be. And then moving over to the releases for AEW. This one's going to be interesting just because we haven't really seen big AEW releases. I mean, there's been a few like Andrade moving back, but we'll look at it. So first one, Miro, aka in WWE during his time with Rusev. This one could be good in my opinion, just because he, from what I've heard, from what I've watched, because I've watched some videos from other people to kind of get more up to date with this. He was last seen in like late 2024, I believe, some early 2024, somewhere around there, and he just hasn't been used on TV, so he was upset and wanted his release. I think if he comes back as Miro or Rusev, whatever he wants, I think a match between him and Gunther could really cook. Have another run with small run with John Cena because they had some great matches back in the day. Have some of those feuds, and I think it will work great for Rusev. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't really know what happened there, but I don't want to like get it wrong. But Rusev coming back would be great, or Miro, whatever he wants to call it. Number two, Ricky Starks. He was just sitting at home. He said it on a Chris Van Vliet episode, so straight from the source himself. He had a stinger and then was just sitting home and had nothing to do. Wanted to come back, tried to go in the Indies. They didn't let him, so he was a free agent in less than in like 24 hours. Man was already in NXT making an impact. He came out, said, "Hey, the hottest brand needs the hottest free agent." He said, "Don't be confused by the fragrance and look. He is there to totally turn NXT on its head, and I think it'll be a great addition there." The men's, a lot of people are saying this, but the men's like stories and men's roster isn't the biggest right now. I think NXT Women's is popping, so they're doing great. And I mean, Trick will probably see a call up soon. If I had to guess, he'll probably drop the next match to Oba and be gone because she'll go to the main roster, have some great matches there. And the main people who have there will be Ethan Page, Obafemi, of course. You'll have Javon Evans, which Javon Evans is an amazing talent. I love what Javon does down there in NXT. He's amazing. That match with Randy was awesome. So they still have some amazing men's wrestlers there. You have the Don, like you have some people there, but I think Ricky Starks just adds a new flair. He's a new star. He's like a mega star, really. So uh, hopefully he keeps Ricky Starks because they didn't really announce his name there, but I think with the crowd chanting Ricky, they might keep it. So hopefully they continue with that name. And then the next one, which I find huge because I loved him in his WWE time, Aleister Black, or as in AEW known as Malachi Black. In AEW, started off really hot. beat Cody clean first match, and then just from there on, it was just a downhill spiral. He lost to Cody a few times, and then the only title he got after that was the AEW Trios title, if I remember correctly from the videos I watched. So he just wasn't happy, and he wanted his release, and they granted it to him. Pretty sure this one will have to wait till the Raw after Mania because it's a little hard to put him in a story and just find a way to get a Mania match. And I think it would be one of those big pops for the Raw after Mania because Raw after Mania is the time where you're waiting for big things to happen. And Aleister Black, Malachi Black coming back to WWE would be huge because the first ever WWE event I went to, he was there. It was the SmackDown before the WrestleMania where Seth beat Brock in the first match, and Becky won the triple threat in the main event. So that's the first event I went to, and I saw him, and he was absolutely perfect. I think that was when he was tagging with Ricochet at the time. So it would be great to see him come back and actually get a push because last time on the main roster he didn't get the best push because he looked like he is a main event talent, and Vince just did not use him well. I think Triple H will use him way better, saying he's a Triple H guy, and he was in the black and gold NXT, and it would be great. Another person I'd want to see go over, and I don't think we'll see for a while. I think a year or two would be Adam Cole. I love Adam Cole when he has bigger stories. I tend to try to keep up with that. He had that story against MJF, but that went downhill quick because injuries, and so it hasn't been the best for Adam Cole. I loved watching him and MJF become friends. That was a great storyline. But then again, not going to talk about it too much just because I don't know the full details of AEW because I don't watch it on a weekly basis. I tune in every so often, but I'm not going to try to say everything that happened or judge it too much. From what I've seen, some of the stories have been great. The Tony Storm one, good. Swerve Strickland, that one was pretty good. The Adam Cole MJF was good. So what I've seen has been good, but I've also heard some stuff about it that's not so good. But I'm not going to say it because I don't really know about it, if you know what I mean. So I don't want to anger any friends. I don't want to fans, not friends. I don't want to anger any fans, the internet wrestling community, especially AEW. So I'm just gonna stop talking about it there. But these three would be huge pickups. Ricky Starks already is a huge pickup. In 24 hours, they already have him on the big screen. He already hit his pose. So he's going to be big for NXT. Malachi Black and Miro would be huge. So I would love to see those. Some matches I want to see from the three. Miro, like I said, Gunther, John Cena, maybe some matches with the bigger guys. Ricky Starks, Ethan Page, and him could have a confrontation. That would be real big, especially for the internet. That would be huge. Just be like, it's two AEW guys from the start that kind of are going against each other now in the opposing brand, the opposing product. So I think that would be huge. I don't know if AEW fans would like that because they're like, oh, you got to do this, but it would be cool. Obafemi versus him would be amazing. Javon versus him would be amazing. Just some top guys in NXT would be great for him. Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever he comes back as. There's so many matches. Have a match with him, John Cena and him, Randy Orton, CM Punk. Like, there's so many matches that would be amazing. Him versus Penta again would be pretty good. Of course, everyone's talking about Penta. They want him versus Chelsea Green, which probably won't happen, but that would be really funny. Overall, though, some great pickups we could have in some great matches that can come from WWE releases. Like I said, the injury release, I didn't really like that, but sometimes you got to release people to bring people in, and unfortunately, that's what happened to some of these stars. I wish them the best. I really hope they can find another place for them, and they can make a well-being for them and their family. So going off of the releases to WWE Raw, I think it was a pretty good Raw. First off, there were some things people like, some things people don't like. A lot of people don't like Jey Uso being the guy to challenge Gunther. I don't know why. I love Jey Uso. I think this match would be huge. And a lot of times you go to these like stadiums and people like online are like, "Oh, we gotta listen to the song again." Listen, the fans really asked for it again, so you can't be mad at him. The fans are the ones asking it. So if you're gonna be mad at anyone, be mad at the fans. But Jey Uso doing the yeet, doing all the stuff, having fun, and then Gunther comes back from behind, beats him up, says, "Listen, you're gonna regret it. Don't pick me." And then Jay's like, "Listen, I'm picking you, Gunther." So it was great. I think the match will be amazing. Gunther will bring out the best in him. And also, Jey Uso does not have 5 moves; he has more than that. Next match: Damage Control versus Liv Morgan Raquel Gun. Damage Control versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. This match was great. Io is so good. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it in all these weeks. Io is so unbelievably good. I just don't get it. Her moves are great. Her selling is great. Her and Liv have great chemistry. The week before, when she lost to Rhea, I mean, she lost to Liv because of Rhea interfering. Sucked because I really want to see in the chamber. And maybe there will be a chance, but after Rhea did say that, I think they'd meet at the chamber for a one-on-one match for the title. So that kind of sucks. I would love to see EOS champ again because, like I said, she's so good. But Damage Control win and Liv and Raquel drop it. Liv was bleeding after because she got caught in the eye or above the eye, and it was such a great match overall. Both of them are great at selling. Elimination Chamber qualifier: Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. Not a bad match. Personally, I've gotten a little bored of Bayley. She's a great wrestler. She has some great matches sometimes, but right now, personally, I'm bored. I love Lyra. I think she should actually defend her Intercontinental Championship for once because she's had it for a few weeks and really hasn't done much with it. So hopefully they can get that going. But she was such a great pick for it. That's something she needed after coming out from NXT. She needed that moment. She needed something to bring her up, and that has. So I wanted to actually defend it. But they both had a pretty good match. I liked it, but Bayley, I'm getting a little bored of. AJ Styles promo, kind of sad, talking about how he thought his career might be over. Um, Thankfully, he said he was fine, and of course he came back. So he's there. So it wasn't career ending, thankfully, because he still has some good matches and some people he's got to have some matches with left. I mean, him versus John Cena should probably happen this year at some point. I think that's a big feud in WWE that happened in the last few years that needs to be done again. World Tag Team title match: War Raiders versus American Made. Great match. Didn't like the finish. I'm gonna be honest. I really do want American Made to win the tag team titles. I want them to be one of the premier factions because Judgment Day is looking like they're breaking apart soon because you have Finn arguing with Dom and Liv the whole time. Unfortunately, JD McDonough is hurt and he's going to be out a few weeks because of his punctured lung and broken ribs because that nasty spot. Dude's a beast. And Carlito's kind of just there sometimes. He's not really doing much. So it would be big for American Made to start to get those wins, stack them up, and make them a premier faction. But great match overall. I hope they can win it. CM Punk promo, uh, pretty good. He's just talking his usual talk. And then Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. I think it was a pretty good match. I've seen a few people saying he still needs work. I think, yeah, he needs some work, but overall it was really good. And I love Ray, but Logan Paul in this match is going to be pretty good. So I don't really see. I know some people are hating because it's Logan Paul. He's pretty easy to dislike. I mean, in real life, he's done some questionable things that really have people like, really, dude, like, come on now. So overall, I totally understand the dislike and disdain towards him, but in wrestling, he's been pretty good. So you can't hate on the man. And then NXT, like I said, Ricky Starks comes out to a huge pop. Everyone's chanting his name, Ricky, Ricky, Ricky. So hopefully they keep his name. I think they will because they've kept some other names like Sean Spears. They kept his name coming back. So like they're all ego Ethan Page. They kept that name. So I think he'll be okay. I think they just were trying to uphold the surprise, but maybe they might change it. I know they had some kind of weird name patents they put out, but hopefully it doesn't turn into that. But I don't think it will. I think he'll keep his name. But if he doesn't, don't get too crazy about it because there's been name changes before, like Walter to Gunther. No one liked it, but now we all call him Gunther. So well, we'll keep it chill about that. But yeah, overall, talked about the releases. We talked about releases from both sides, WWE and AEW. We talked about Raw, but SmackDown wasn't bad. Um, and then overall, I think WWE's in a really good spot. It's getting more popular than ever. The releases were kind of a shock, but sometimes, like I said, you got to release to bring people in. And it sucks that some of them had to be the people they were, like Blair Davenport, because I think she could be great in WWE. But hey, listen, the competition's there for a reason. Competition makes everyone better. Blair Davenport, Sonya Deville, they can go to AEW and become big stars and make everyone better. And some of these other hires we've had recently that will make us better, like Jordan Grace. You have Penta, of course. Penta's been amazing. Jordan Grace, I hope gets some time soon. I think she'll be really good. She'll be a great challenger for a person like Rhea Ripley and some other really talented wrestlers. Nikki Bella's back. I don't know what they're gonna do with her yet because she's supposedly supposed to be a wrestler again, like actual like feuds and stuff, and she hasn't been back yet. I think they're planting seeds with Bayley, but I can't really fully tell yet. Alexa Bliss, she's in the chamber, which is perfect. I love to see her in a big match again. Missed her so much. NXT, I will say, there is the pay per view coming soon, and the really big thing about that is that fatal four way between Roxanne Perez, Julia, Bayley, and Core J, which I think that match is going to be fantastic. They all four are really talented. I know I said I sometimes get a little bored of Bayley, but matches like this can really set the fire up again. Core Jade, I don't think she'll win, but I think she'll have a good showing. Roxanne Perez, I don't think she'll win. I think she's getting bumped up soon. And then Julia, I think she's going to be champ for a while because she is so good. Her and Io both really good. And just the whole women's roster is getting way good. I think they need to pull up some NXT women that are doing really good for the main roster just because you kind of have the same people challenging for the title again and again and again. I mean, Charlotte is still not really picked her person, which Charlotte's cool and all, but not a lot of people wanted to see her win. I was kind of okay with seeing it, but I kind of wanted Roxanne Perez by the end of that match. So hopefully they can maybe get her a title at some point coming up soon. But Tiffany's going to be a great champ. I just think her versus Charlotte would be a great match. And of course, hopefully Tiffany would win because that's kind of what we want to see more than Charlotte have another title reign, in which I get it. They want to get her past her father, and they're going to probably have John Cena past her father, which is a reason where you can be like, all right, Charlotte can just chill then because Charlotte was great and all, but a lot of people are getting bored of her. I mean, I'm happy to have her back, and she is a great wrestler and puts on some great matches, but I'm also a little like, maybe have a younger person take over and NXT people come up. But all in all, I can't change it. I can only say my opinions on it, but thank you guys for watching this episode of Wrestling Wednesdays. Thank you very much, and bye. Subscribe.